Another good Tua performance. This guy is playing at such a high level. I want to talk about what he's doing well. Not just him, obviously the offense as a whole doing very well. I think that's what's getting talked about a lot of is all these wide open receivers, and we'll talk about that as well. But that's not the only way the Dolphins are moving the ball down the field. There even are, a negative or two in this game that I'll get to as well. So let's just jump into it. Starting off with this first play. I mean, this is kind of I think what Tua is doing when he's at his best. To me, this is Tua's best attribute. He's so good at this stuff, and he's getting even better, which I didn't think was possible because he was already one of the best in football at this stuff last year, where it's a zone coverage play, and you have a receiver running over the middle. The idea is that he gets into a gap in coverage. It's Jalen Waddle, so he can get into that gap in coverage quickly, and also, once he gets the ball in his hands in open space, that's a good situation for Miami. Watch how when this play begins. What's crazy about this to me is, so you see the gap he wants to throw to, and you do see where, it's a little bit blurry, but you see where Waddle is on the screen. He's just slightly above on the screen, the gap that Tua is looking to throw to. But if you go over and look at Tua is currently in the throwing motion, and not just starting the throwing motion. He's about to throw this football. He's getting rid of the football quickly. One thing I thought of is I'm surprised he hasn't thrown more interceptions with, you'd think that there would be some miscommunications that could result in some ugly interceptions if Waddle wasn't running over the middle here, it would be dangerous. But you know what? Getting this timing down is how you get the ball down the field, and yes, maybe there will be a miscommunication sometimes, but they haven't really had those this season. They haven't had many at all, so that's also a good thing. Watch Tua gets rid of that football quickly, and so yes, if you just look at it and you're watching it and aren't really, maybe paying half attention, you look at that and say, well, Tua hit a wide open receiver. Well, why was that receiver wide open? A, because Jalen Waddle is very good, but B, because Tua timed that one perfectly to allow that window to be as big as possible. So I think a lesser quarterback probably makes that throw, but it looks a lot more difficult because they don't time it up as perfectly. And then people say, oh, wow, they made a tougher throw because it doesn't look as clean. I think part of why sometimes a quarterback looks like they're throwing to open receivers is because of good stuff that they're doing. Now, not always. Sometimes there are stuff like this, which is just going to be a receiver getting wide open. This is a great play where you have, it's going to be Tyreek Hill eventually going to be running a one-on-one matchup on the outside, and it's just one of those situations where I feel like we know this, right? Don't have someone try to cover Tyreek Hill one-on-one. Tyreek Hill should always have two people on him, minimum, maybe three. I don't know. You got to pay attention to him. You got to pay extra attention to him. There should always be a safety basically just paying attention to Tyreek Hill. And also, just to be clear, Tyreek Hill's route is going to be the one that's going closer towards the bottom of the screen. That's his route. Watch as when this play begins, you see how it takes a second to develop, and you see that Johnson for Chicago is actually in good position. This doesn't seem to be bad coverage or anything at this point, but Tua knows who Tyreek Hill is. Tua's going to throw one up there, and you see Hill just have the explosiveness to get past him. I mean, that's a very good play by Tua, and this is the kind of stuff Tua can do because, really great play by Tyreek Hill. It is the kind of stuff Tyreek Hill can do because of just how explosive he is, how he can just run by everybody. But again, what's a quarterback supposed to do? They're supposed to throw it to their best matchup. Tua doesn't have to apologize for having a one-on-one matchup killer. And I did want to highlight some of his better throws of the game as well, because again, I could probably talk all day about how guys are getting wide open. In fact, I might make a whole video on just Mike McDaniel and what he's doing to scheme guys open. The stuff's working very well, but I still wanted to really highlight Tua in this video and talk about what he's doing well and how he is being a huge part of this Dolphins offense, because yes, there was a couple missed throws in there, quarterbacks missed throws, and even good quarterbacks missed throws, but there's this play where it's going to be a zone coverage play, and watch what happens. Tua takes a snap, he's going to run a play action, and then roll out towards his left. So again, lefty quarterback throwing to his left, a little bit easier there than if it was a righty quarterback in that situation. But still, you're throwing off balance. You see that there's a window, but it's not a wide open window. But Tua makes the throw, and they're able to get a touchdown there. In fact, I thought this play was even more impressive play potentially. I think you could argue this was his most impressive throw of the game, and it's not even going to be complete, which is kind of funny. So what's going to happen here, it is a zone coverage play. You have Jalen Waddle running a route over the middle, and this time it's not going to be, Tua's not going to throw the ball right away. There's kind of a more lengthy play action, so a little bit different than that first play I showed you, but same general concept. Running the play action to get players out of position and then throwing in between linebackers. That's basically what you're doing. As you see, Tua is going to take the snap, run this play action. Eventually, he's going to make this throw, but he took some time to make it, right? He had to wait a while for Waddle to finally get open. And at this point, I mean, there is a tight window. Chicago's playing this one well. Again, a lot of people are going to point out, well, it was the Chicago Bears defense. And like, listen, all that stuff is true, right? Receivers were getting open. The Bears defense isn't great. Like, all that stuff is absolutely true. But it doesn't mean that these plays also didn't happen, where this is a tight window throw. And really, Tua puts that right where he wanted to put it. It got ripped out at the last second. That was nearly complete and would have been one of his better throws of the game, if not his best throw. And the way I view it, that means it was one of his better throws, if not his best throw of the game. The reality is, it doesn't matter if you're missing, it doesn't matter if the receiver catches it or not. All I'm evaluating is the quarterback, and the quarterback played well on that play. Finally, let's talk about some of the negatives, as I alluded to. I'm not going to touch on all of them. Like, there was one where he was rolling out and he missed a throw there. But you know what? He's always struggled at throwing when he's rolling out to his right. That's kind of one of the things that he has had a bit of an issue with. I'm not sure exactly what that is. So he missed a throw there on a 4th down that he got a lot of criticism for. But again, missed throws do happen. You see Mahomes miss throws, you see Tom Brady miss throws, you see Aaron Rodgers miss throws, you see Tua miss throws. Like, that's just, every quarterback misses throws. In my personal opinion, saying that those missed throws did not happen would be just untrue. They did happen, but making a big deal out of it would be missing the point. And I actually kind of thought about something like this, where it's going to be a deep shot to Tyreek Hill, and this is going to be, I would say, a missed throw. So what was the narrative heading into the season? Tua can't hit those Tyreek Hill deep shots. Watch how when this play begins, you're going to see that Tyreek Hill is going to get open. I also should mention, that narrative was preseason. I think it's been largely shown to be not true. Tua has hit enough of these deep shots, but here you see that Tua probably should lead the receiver a little bit more. Again, it's a tough throw. I'm not trying to say it's not. He threw it at his own 42-yard line or so. You would probably like to see that go, at least in the middle or towards the back of the end zone. We're talking over 50 yards down the field then, though, so it's a difficult play. He's going to underthrow it a little bit. That's not the reason I'm bringing it up. The reason I'm bringing it up is I think we've seen enough football to know that underthrowing a deep ball is not the worst thing in the world when your receiver is winning, because the defensive back can't play the ball. They have to play the receiver at that point, so they're just going to run as fast as they can. And if Tyreek Hill stops, that basically just means that the defensive back is going to run directly into Tyreek Hill. Like, watch, that's what happens, and it's not a catch, but it was a flag there and a pass interference. And that's kind of what you will take sometimes, I think, is you'll take the pass interference in that situation. I mean, listen, I'm sure Tyreek Hill would love to have more yardage totals. Not like he needs more yardage totals. He's having no issue racking that up on his own. But the reality is, if you're moving the ball down the field, you're moving the ball down the field. And if his biggest weakness is a play that still results in a long pass interference, that's not a horrible weakness to have. So that's just kind of a thought I had. I don't know what you guys think of that. Maybe you don't even agree that that's a weakness of him, because he has been hitting those Tyreek Hill deep shots. It just, I saw it in this game and it kind of made me think of that. So, but yeah, as a whole, I mean, what more can be said about Tua that hasn't already been said? The Dolphins are now 6-0 with Tua as a starter. He's playing good football. That's all you can ask for right now. Having a young quarterback playing good football, Dolphins certainly in the mix for a potential Super Bowl contender situation. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.